Parsha, Parshas Chukas. Starts off with the enigmatic mitzvah of Hora Aduma, right? The red heifer. The law is, the halacha is that if somebody comes in contact with a corpse, that he has to, in order to purify himself, he has to take a mixture of water and some of the ashes of the red heifer, and it gets sprinkled on him, and that makes him pure.
RMoore, what's a heifer?
Heifer and a female cow. Female, it's cow in that way. Okay? I know it's one of those things, those terms which you've learned since you were a kid of 3, 4, 5, whatever, and you never know what it means. Anyway, the heifer is a cow, as opposed to a female, as opposed to a...
A heifer is a female, but a year old, right? It's a year old.
It must actually be more than that, but anyway, actually, it was not past its first year. Anyway, when was this mitzvah given? When was the mitzvah of Hora Aduma given? So Rashi doesn't mention it here, but Rashi in the beginning of Parsha Shmini says there, the Gemara says that a number of different halachas were given on the first day the Mishkan was erected, on the first of Nisan. And those, basically the common denominator of all those halachas is which halachas came into play, became applicable once there was a Mishkan. So there was all the mitzvahs of Korbanos, and this mitzvah of Hora Aduma, of taking the red heifer and burning it, and the whole process which is mentioned in this week's Parsha, that mitzvah required having a Mishkan, because part of the process is that the blood of the red heifer, even though it wasn't shechted, wasn't slaughtered inside the Azara, it was taken outside the camp, and the Bisman HaMikdash was taken up to the Mount of Olives, and the Kohen who was in charge of burning the heifer and shechting it, burning it, taking its blood, and sprinkling the blood towards the direction of the Beis HaMikdash, part of it was that the blood had to be sprinkled in the direction of the Beis HaMikdash, where when they were in the wilderness, in the direction of the Mishkan. And that required a Mishkan. There was no Mishkan, you couldn't sprinkle it in the direction of the Mishkan. So therefore the mitzvah of Hora Aduma was given on the first of Nisan. Where are we chronologically up to in Parshas Chukas? We're somewhere, Parshas Korach, the story of Korach happened in the second year after the Eight of the Meraglim. Meraglim happened Tisha B'Av. So if the Parsha of Hora Aduma was given to them, in the sequence of events, so it was, we're chronologically up to, let's say, past, Korach must have happened sometime after Tisha B'Av, so we're at least 4 or 5 months after Nisan. But Nisan, Iyar, Sivan, Tammuz, Av, so Tisha B'Av when was the Chet of Meraglim. Chet of Korach happened sometime after that. Say when. So the Torah is putting a parsha which was said on Rosh Chodesh Nisan, putting it over here in our parsha chronologically out of order. Okay. Why is it put here? Now, maybe the key to this, the answer to this is, even though the actual Lashon of Rashi seems to imply the opposite. After the section about the red heifer, Hora Aduma, the Torah describes an event that happened. Vayavoyu b'nei Yisrael kol ha'edom mitbatzim b'chodesh harishon vayishom b'kodesh v'tomos shel Miriam v'tikol Sham. Bnei Yisrael, the entire congregation came to Mikbatzim, and Miriam died there, and she was buried there. So Rashi points out over here, why is the death of Miriam mentioned here? This is the point which I'd like to dwell on. Rashi says, Lama nismacha misas Miriam leparshas Paradim. Why is the section, the narrative of the fact that Miriam died, why is that placed next to the section about Paradim? Lo malacha, to tell you, ma korbonos mechaprin, af misas tzadikim mechaperes. Just like korbonos are an atonement, so too the death of tzaddikim act as a korban. So I thought, to answer my original question, maybe herein lies the answer. This, chronologically, we're now up to the point, which is actually 38 years later, or 38 and a half years later, is this was the beginning of the 40th year of the Jewish people in the wilderness. At this point, Miriam died. So chronologically, this is pretty much online. The Torah put the Parshat Aduma here to put it next to the death of Miriam. So therefore, that's why the Torah put the section about Aduma here. Not rather than putting the death of Miriam, which actually the language of Rashi seems to imply that the death of Miriam is put next to the Parshat Aduma. But the death of Miriam is chronologically in its right place. But the Torah put the section of Paraduma here in order to juxtapose it to the death of Miriam. But let's further understand what is the connection between korbanos, and we say korbanos act as an atonement, sacrifice as an atonement, and the death of tzaddikim also acts as an atonement. So the Maral in Gur Aryeh particularly speaks about this at length. But I'd like to elaborate on this maybe slightly differently, it's a different angle from the way the Maral explains it. Chazal, Rashi brings in Sefer Yeshaya Pasuk says as follows. Yeshaya's Navi is giving warning to Klal Yisrael, and he says to them, Vayom Hashem, Yan ki nigash ha'om hazeh befiv u'visvasav kibduli. These people have come drawn near to me, befiv, with their mouths, u'visvasav, and with their lips, kibduli, they honor me. Ve'liboy richak mimeni, but their heart is far away from me. V'atahi yirosem osi, and their fear of me is mitzvahs anoshim melumada. Right? It's like where people keep their mitzvahs melumada out of rote, out of habit, without any feeling. Therefore, Pasuk continues, Lachei, hineni yosif lahafli es ha'om hazeh haflo v'ofele. Therefore, I'm going to do wondrous actions against this people. Haflo v'ofele. It says 3 times. Lahafli es ha'om hazeh haflo v'ofele. V'ovda chochmas chachomov. They're going to lose the wisdom of their wise men. Ubinas nevonov tistato. And the insight of the ones, the people of the wise men who have insight. There's tvuna, there's chokhmah, and there's tvuna. Tvuna is insight, which means Chazal say chokhmah is more like knowledge. A person can gather knowledge. But tvuna, bina, is something, knowledge which is built on, well, a person can have basic knowledge, which is he collects the facts. Bina is building, Lashon binyan is building on those facts. Mevin dava mitoch dava. Right? If I know that 1 and 1 makes 2, right? And 2 and 1 makes 3. So I can work out that 3 and 2 makes 5. Okay? If I'm clever enough, because 1 and 1 is 2, and another 1 is 3, and another 2 is 5. So therefore I can work out 2 and 3 is 5. So I'm using Bina for that. So that means So the pasuk says that Klal Yisrael will lose the wisdom of their wise men and the insight or the understanding of those who have insight. Tistata will be hidden, means they'll lose that as well. Rashi comments on this here, the pasuk over here, that the fact the pasuk uses a triple lashon, actually that's a double lashon. Kosher silukim shel chachmei Yisrael kiflayim kechurban beis hamikdash. Says Rashi, the death of tzaddikim, of chachmei Yisrael, is double as severe than the churban, than the destruction of the beis hamikdash.